If you are in your 60s or 70s, and you still wake up each morning with curiosity in your heart and a spark of purpose in your eyes, you are already winning more than you might realize. You see, growing older is not about slowing down or giving up. It is about embracing a new rhythm of life, one filled with wisdom, grace, and quiet strength. The truth is, age does not define your worth, your energy, or your joy. What defines it are the choices you make every single day to keep moving, to keep learning, to keep loving, and to keep showing up for life. Today, we are going to talk about 5 simple but powerful things that, if you are still doing them past 60 or 70, are clear signs that you are mastering the art of living well. These habits are not about chasing youth. They are about celebrating the beautiful, resilient, and wise version of yourself that you have become. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let us begin this journey together. Habit number 1. You move every day, no matter how small the motion may seem. It might be a walk to the mailbox, a stretch before bed, or simply standing at the window to feel the morning light touch your face. But let me tell you something. That simple act of movement is not just about keeping your body alive. It is a quiet declaration to the universe that you are still here, still choosing to participate in life. Many people think exercise after 60 is only about muscles and joints, but the truth runs deeper. Every time you move, you are sending a message to your mind. I am not done yet. Motion is memory. Your body remembers how it feels to dance, to reach, to move freely. And when you honor that memory, you awaken the part of you that refuses to fade. There is an old saying, you do not stop moving because you get old. You get old because you stop moving. But what few people understand is that movement is not only physical, it is emotional. When you move, you shake loose the weight of old regrets. You let go of grief that has settled in your shoulders. You breathe out years of pressure and breathe in new possibility. That is why some of the most joyful people in their 70s are not necessarily the healthiest or the wealthiest. They are the ones who keep their bodies in gentle motion and their hearts open to rhythm. Think about this. Your heart itself never stops moving. From the moment you were born, it has been keeping time for your life. It does not need to run marathons. It simply keeps going. That is what real strength looks like. Steady, faithful, unbreakable. When you walk, stretch, or even sway to your favorite old song, you are syncing your life with that same rhythm. It is not about counting steps or burning calories. It is about reminding yourself that life is meant to flow, not freeze. Maybe your knees ache. Maybe your back is stiff. That is okay. The goal is not perfection. It is participation. Motion is a conversation between you and your body. And like any good conversation, it is about listening. When you take a walk, feel the earth beneath your feet. When you lift your arms, feel the air move with you. These are not small things. These are whispers of vitality that too many people overlook. You see, movement is not only keeping you alive, it is keeping you connected to the seasons, to your surroundings, to the rhythm of your own breath. And when you move with awareness, you also move closer to yourself. That is something no medicine can replace. Science will tell you that even 20 minutes of light movement each day can reduce the risk of heart disease, boost memory, and improve mood. But what science cannot fully capture is the feeling you get when your body begins to trust you again. When your legs remember the joy of walking, when your lungs open like they did decades ago, when you realize you are still capable of more than the world expects. That realization changes everything. So the next time you feel tired, do not see it as a sign to stop. See it as an invitation to move differently. Stretch your arms toward the ceiling and say, I am still here. Step outside and feel the sun. Lift your chin, roll your shoulders back, Take one slow, deliberate step, and another. That small act, done daily, is your quiet rebellion against time. Because here is the hidden truth that few talk about. Movement is not about living longer. It is about living truer. It is proof that your story is still being written. One heartbeat, one breath, one step at a time. And if you can keep that rhythm going, even in the smallest way, then you are not just surviving age. You are mastering it. You are still moving forward, and that means you are still winning at life. Habit number 2. You stay curious and keep learning. Most people think curiosity belongs to the young, that it fades somewhere between retirement parties and gray hair. But that belief couldn't be further from the truth. Curiosity is not about age. It is about spirit. It is the quiet hunger to keep asking, to keep exploring, to keep finding wonder in ordinary days. And if you still have that hunger, you are richer than most people half your age. You see, curiosity is not just about gathering facts or mastering new skills. It is about keeping your mind alive, truly alive. When you learn something new, whether it's how to grow tomatoes better, how to use that new phone app, or how to play a simple tune on the guitar, your brain lights up like a sunrise. Neurons connect, memory pathways strengthen, and even your mood lifts. Science calls it neuroplasticity, but I call it the soul's way of saying, I'm not done growing. But there's a deeper hidden side to curiosity that people rarely talk about. Curiosity softens us. It keeps us humble. Because when we stay curious, we admit that we don't know everything. And that's liberating. The truly wise are never the ones who say, I've learned enough. They are the ones who whisper, there's still so much more to see. Curiosity also heals. It pulls us out of fear and routine. Have you noticed that the more curious you are, the less anxious you feel? That's because curiosity and fear can't live in the same moment. When you wonder about something, the stars, a recipe, your neighbor's story, your mind shifts from what might go wrong to what might be possible. And possibility is a powerful medicine. Many people stop learning because they think learning means textbooks or classrooms. But life itself is the greatest classroom you will ever know. Every conversation, every mistake, every quiet morning with your coffee is a lesson waiting to be noticed. The secret is to stay awake to it. Think about it. When was the last time you tried something for the very first time? Maybe it was learning to bake bread, reading a new author, or taking a different route on your morning walk. Those moments matter. They stretch your mind and remind you that growth doesn't stop when your career ends. It shifts from ambition to curiosity, from competition to connection. There's a 70-year-old woman I once met who started painting during the pandemic. She told me, I didn't know what I was doing, but the first time I saw the colors mix under my brush, I felt young again. That's what curiosity does. It turns time into wonder. And here's something most people miss. Curiosity is also an act of courage. It takes courage to ask, to try, to risk not knowing. But every time you do, you renew a part of yourself that refuses to settle. You prove that age has nothing to do with aliveness. So if you're still reading books, still asking why, still finding beauty in things others overlook, you're not just learning, you're keeping your mind young. You're reminding the world that growth doesn't have an expiration date. Curiosity doesn't just stretch the mind, it brightens the soul. It makes you more empathetic, more open, more human. Because when you stay curious, you start to see the world and the people in it with softer eyes. You listen more, judge less, and wonder more deeply about what makes life so endlessly fascinating. So never let anyone tell you that curiosity is for the young. Curiosity is for the brave. And if at 60, 70, or beyond, you're still asking questions, still reaching for something new, then you've already tapped into one of life's greatest secrets. Staying curious keeps you timeless. It means your story is still unfolding, your mind still expanding, and your heart still wide open to the next beautiful surprise life has to offer. Habit number 3, you connect. You do not isolate. This is one of life's most powerful truths, and yet one of the least spoken about as we age. The greatest predictor of happiness and longevity isn't how much money you have, how many miles you walk, or how healthy your diet is. It's the strength of your relationships. Human connection is medicine, real, measurable, healing medicine. But let's look deeper, beyond the obvious. Connection is not only about being surrounded by people. You can be at a crowded dinner table and still feel lonely. True connection means being seen, really seen, for who you are. It's when someone listens without judgment, when a neighbor waves and you feel warmth instead of obligation, when a simple, "How are you?" actually means, "I care." These moments are small, yet they feed the soul in ways that vitamins and pills never can. As people grow older, the world tends to shrink. Children move away, friends pass on, routines become smaller. But those who keep reaching outward, those who call an old friend, join a group, share their story, they don't just extend their social circle, they expand their life. Because every time you connect, you remind your heart that it still matters. You remind yourself that love and laughter still belong to you. There's a secret many don't talk about. Isolation doesn't just hurt emotionally, it hurts physically. Studies show that loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. The body reads isolation as danger, as if something essential is missing, because it is. We are wired to belong. That's why even short connections, a brief chat at the grocery store, a smile to a stranger, a phone call to a friend, can lower blood pressure and calm the nervous system. The body relaxes when it feels connected. But here's the hidden gift. Connection is not just something you receive, it's something you give. Sometimes the best way to feel less lonely is to help someone else feel seen. Visit a neighbor who lives alone, volunteer at a local shelter, offer advice to a young person who needs guidance. Each time you give your attention, your time, or your kindness, you strengthen your own sense of purpose. You stop asking, "What am I missing?" and start realizing, "I have something left to offer." True connection also means forgiving. As we age, we collect both memories and wounds, but holding on to old pain only builds invisible walls. Forgiveness tears those walls down, not for others, but for you. It clears space for peace, for reconnection, for love to flow back in, because connection begins inside, with how you treat your own heart. Here's something remarkable. People who feel deeply connected tend to look younger, think clearer, and recover faster from illness. Why? Because connection fuels vitality. It gives every cell a reason to keep going. It tells your body, "I belong here. I'm still part of something bigger than myself." And the most beautiful part? Connection doesn't require perfection. You don't have to be cheerful all the time or have endless stories to share. Just being present, fully, honestly, is enough. When you listen with your heart, when you reach out without expecting, when you let someone in, even for a moment, you're keeping the human flame alive. So if you still find yourself laughing with friends, calling your kids just to say "I love you," or offering a smile to someone who needs it, that's a sign you're winning at life, because connection is the soul's proof that we are never meant to walk alone. Habit number 4, you take care of your inner peace. At this stage of life, peace is no longer something you chase. It is something you protect. When you are young, you run after excitement, success, recognition. But somewhere along the way, you realize that the real treasure is silence, not the empty kind, but the kind that feels full of calm, acceptance, and clarity. That is what inner peace truly is, the quiet strength that lets you face each day with grace. Many people talk about peace as if it's a destination, a place you finally reach when everything in life settles down. But the truth is, peace is not out there. It's built from within. It's a skill, a practice, a daily choice. And if at 60, 70, or beyond, you've learned to choose peace, then you've already achieved something most people spend a lifetime chasing. Let's be honest. Life doesn't get easier with age. The body slows, losses accumulate, the world changes faster than we can keep up. But peace isn't about avoiding the storms. It's about learning how to stand in the rain without drowning in it. It's about breathing deeply when things don't go your way, forgiving people who never said they were sorry, and refusing to let fear decide how you live. Here's the hidden truth that few people mention. Peace is not weakness. It's power in its gentlest form. It takes courage to stay calm in a noisy world, to respond with patience instead of anger, to walk away from what steals your joy. It takes wisdom to know that not every battle deserves your energy. When you learn that, your life transforms. Inner peace often begins with small rituals, things that seem ordinary but hold great power. Drinking your morning coffee in silence before the day begins, sitting on the porch watching the sunset, praying, meditating, or simply taking 5 slow breaths when your heart feels heavy. These moments are not wasted time. They are medicine for the soul. They remind you that calmness is not a reward. It's your natural state. You just have to return to it. And here's something deeper. Peace is also about letting go. Letting go of regrets, old arguments, or the idea that life should have turned out differently. The past cannot be rewritten, but it can be released. And when you release it, you make room for joy to enter again. Some people think peace comes from having everything figured out, but real peace is the opposite. It comes when you stop needing to have all the answers. It's when you finally say, I don't know what's next, but I trust myself to handle it. That kind of trust changes the way you breathe. When you protect your peace, you also protect your health. Studies show that people who practice calmness through mindfulness, prayer, or quiet reflection have lower blood pressure, stronger immunity, and better sleep. But beyond the science, there's something spiritual about it. A peaceful mind invites a peaceful life. And maybe the greatest secret of all, peace makes space for gratitude. When the noise fades, you start noticing the beauty in small things. The warmth of sunlight on your hands, the sound of laughter in another room, the comfort of knowing you've done your best. Those moments are sacred. So if you've learned to sit in silence without feeling lonely, to forgive without needing an apology, to choose calm over chaos, then you're already winning at life. You've learned that peace is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of strength. Habit number 5. You still feel grateful every single day. Gratitude is more than good manners or polite words. It is a way of seeing. It is the lens that turns an ordinary day into a gift and a lifetime into a masterpiece. If you wake up each morning and can still find something, anything, to be thankful for, you are already winning at life. Because gratitude, more than anything else, keeps your heart young. Here's the quiet truth most people miss. Gratitude is not about having everything you want. It's about recognizing the beauty in what you already have. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of someone calling your name, the strength that carried you through another day. The moment you say, thank you, even silently, you shift the entire chemistry of your body. Stress softens, the heart relaxes, and your mind opens to peace. Science confirms what the soul already knows. People who practice gratitude daily sleep better, smile more, and live longer. But what science cannot measure is the invisible strength it gives you. Gratitude builds resilience. It helps you endure pain without losing faith. It reminds you that even in loss, there is something left to love. Many people think gratitude is only for good times. But real gratitude is tested in the hard seasons. When health fails, when friends drift away, when the world feels small and quiet. That's when gratitude becomes spiritual courage. Because saying thank you in the middle of struggle is not denial. It's defiance. It's you saying, I will not let hardship steal my sense of wonder. One man once told me, I start every day writing down 3 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's as small as the smell of coffee or my wife's laugh. It changed how I see everything. That simple act rewires the mind from scarcity to abundance. It teaches you to look for blessings instead of burdens. And here's something even deeper. Gratitude, it doesn't just make you happier. It makes you more present. When you're grateful, you stop rushing. You start noticing. You begin to see that the moment you're in right now is the one you once prayed for. The home you live in, the people you love, the breath you just took. Gratitude anchors you to the miracle of now. It also connects generations. When you express gratitude, you pass on wisdom without needing words. Your children and grandchildren see how you live, how you smile through difficulties, how you appreciate small joys, and they learn what true richness looks like. Gratitude is not something you teach, it is something you embody. And perhaps the most beautiful secret of gratitude is this: it multiplies. The more you give thanks, the more reasons you find to keep giving it. Life responds to appreciation like flowers respond to sunlight. The things you thank life for tend to grow stronger. So if you are in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, and you still wake up each morning and whisper, thank you, for the sunrise, for the breath in your lungs, for another chance to love. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. Because gratitude means your heart is still open. It means that, no matter how much life has changed, you have not stopped seeing its beauty. In the end, gratitude is the soul's final victory, the proof that no matter what time takes away, you still know how to see what remains. And when you can do that, when you can meet each day with a thankful heart, you've already mastered the greatest art of living, the art of joy.